Okay, I love Officer Tatum. I do. Very smart man. And from what I've been hearing, so is Gilbert Arenas. Now, this isn't the Vlad interview. I really want to do a reaction to that one, but I came across this first. Let's go.
Have you actually experienced any real racism in the NBA?
No.
Never.
Real? No. When I really judge it, I'm looking at the behavior, right? Like, you know, same thing with like someone like Trump, right? Oh, he's racist. But every rally he does, it's all black music. It's not. It's Rihanna. I can hear Rihanna. That's Rihanna, right? That sounds like Rihanna, right? And then it switched to John Legend. That's black right there. Beyonce's next. Like this is not like he's playing Taylor Swift and Lady Gaga all day. Like, come on. Like, that's to pay attention to.
Okay, honestly, playing music doesn't mean you are or are not racist. People like what they like, whether it's music done by black people, white people, Asian people, Indian people, whatever. If it hits you, it hits you. But there's too much of this garbage going around. I can't have an argument with someone who is black and call them a bitch and whatever because I'm white and it hits differently. No. That's not equality. Equality is fuck you, bitch. Fuck you, bitch, right back at me. Or they give me a fuck you, bitch, and I give them a fuck you, bitch right after them, right at them. Even though I use the word cunt sometimes, I don't care. These are words. But Gilbert Arenas is right about one thing. It's your actions that speak differently. People say all the time, oh, I love you, and the next minute they're stabbing them in the back. Literally and figuratively. These are just words. Some words are more horrible than others. But my experience has been if people want, they can take a word you say, twist it into something else, and then twist it into racism. Me calling a black woman a bitch is the same thing as calling them animals, according to one woman I've dealt with. Well, I have seen black women act like animals. I've seen white women act like animals. I've seen Hispanic women act like animals. There are times our emotions get the better of us and blah, 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 blah. It just happens. We're emotional. We're passionate about things. But no, if somebody doesn't like it, you're racist. Or you're homophobic, or you're transphobic, or you're all this other stuff. No. But anyway, just the music you listen to doesn't mean you're not racist. And it doesn't mean you are. I listen to a wide variety of music. I watch a wide variety of movies and TV shows. And I very much enjoy everything because what I like is what I like. But people want to hide the truth for a political agenda. They are literally brainwashing people. I was brought up, everybody's together. If you fight, it's even. If you're fighting with fists, you don't pull out a gun. You just don't. But that's not what's happening in the world today. In the world today, it's, oh, look, right now here in New York City, it's cloudy. What? Here's a gun right in your face. And that's literally what's going on. And people can say, no, it's not. No, it's not. Yes, it is. I'm not allowed to speak on certain issues because I'm white. Bullshit. If it's out there, I can talk about it. You know, there's even this one woman who's putting out there things she told me in private. Bullshit. Everything she told me in private, there's all videos out there of her saying it. Again, wants to twist it because I'm white. And I dared to say something against her. This is just all bullshit. And she's not the only one. There are others. And it's not just black people. White people do it too. It's just insane.
This video is brought to you by TatumStore.com. TatumStore.com. Get your merch link in the description section. Get you one of these shirts. What would Trump do? We have a what would Reagan do? And we also have a shirt that says my pronouns are USA. Go on right now and get you one of those shirts. Links are in the description section. Like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell to get notifications. Anytime I go live, make a video, make sure you still subscribe to this channel. Like this video, comment for this video. Let's get into this. It literally makes my blood boil when I read articles like the one from Town Hall that says American pride nears record low. How is that even possible?
Exactly. I would like to know that. Oh, there's so much oppression here. Really? Really? Officer Tatum talks about in this video how his grandmother had to drink at separate water fountains. No, but people aren't going to be satisfied unless everyone has everything everyone else has, not working for it, not deserving it, should just have it. That's bullshit. Right now in my hand, I'm holding a Dolly Parton. Yes, she's white. Fuck you. I don't care. Body spray called Dancing Fireflies. You mean to tell me if a black person wanted this, I have to give it up to them? Well, that's what's being said in a lot of places. Even Black Lives Matter, what do you call them? The big ups? Said, yes, you should give what you have to a black person. Fuck you. For what? Not every white person is connected through their ancestral history to someone who owned a slave. My grandfather came over from Russia. He could not make a go of his farm no matter how much he tried. He came here and he worked as a mechanic in the very neighborhood I'm living in. All people want to say is, if you're white, your people benefited. Let me tell you motherfuckers something. Everyone, black, white, Asian, I don't give a fuck. My people are not white people. My people were my mother, my father. They were my people. My husband was my people. My son, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins. Those are my people. The white person down the block from me, I don't know them. My father warned me there was a race war coming. A Jewish doctor I had, and I don't know why I remember this, but he was missing a finger, said he was moving back to Israel because a race war was coming. Why? Because so many people are saying black people are getting screwed. Well, okay, yeah, that's true, but so are poor whites. So are poor Asians. So are poor Indians. Oh no, not as bad as the black people. Bullshit. Bullshit. We have come so fucking far. A black person of today would not be able to handle what their fucking ancestors did. But yet they feel like they're entitled to what their ancestors, their grandparents, their great-grandparents, their great-great-great-great-grandparents should have had. Fuck you. None of you deserve this shit. I'm part Irish. If there were or are any reparations due to Irish people who were slaves, I don't deserve any of that. I'm not the one who went through it. I don't want to hear, oh, well, in the jail system. No, no, no. I'm talking about everyday normal life. You don't deserve, and I don't care who likes me saying this, you are not entitled to what your ancestors were entitled to. Okay? You're not. And I'm sick and tired of hearing reparations. Well, there are plenty of white people who would also be entitled to reparations because there's a mixing. There's always been a mixing. And no, not all of the mixing was forced. Go read up on the Myrtle's plantation and the hauntings. Okay? I'm not talking about, oh yeah, ghosts. No, no, no. The history. There was a slave woman who was having an affair, or so she thought, with the guy who owned the plantation. She was so jealous of his wife and kids, she wanted to make them sick. Instead, she killed them. And I don't want to hear, well, that's just one story. No, 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 no. She felt she was above everything because she was fucking the guy who owned everything. A lot of women feel like that today, black, white, it doesn't matter. She thought she was so important, she went and listened in on what the owner was talking, business or whatever. The owner cut her ear off. Oh, well, that was too much. She didn't deserve that. Bull fucking shit. You know you're not supposed to eavesdrop, listen in, this and that, ba-ba-ba, ba-ba-ba. You got punished for it. Would he have done that to his wife? I don't know. Back then, it might have been legal to do that as well. So if his wife was doing it, yes, she would have deserved it too. A white woman. People don't like it, go fuck yourself. And by the way, don't use any lube. This way it hurts. I'm sick and tired of this shit. I've had people put down my movie videos, the commentary I do on news articles, and everybody else. This is bullshit. Bullshit. Is there still oppression in this world? Yes, there is still slavery in this world. But is anyone worried about those slaves? No. Only worried about the descendants of slaves who are living 100 times better than their ancestors. And yes, I'm part Irish and I'm living 100 times better than they were, than my ancestors were. Black people today are living 100 times better than black people in the 40s. Oh, no. That's not true. Yeah? Any black person listening to this right now, how the fuck are you listening to this? If you were oppressed, you wouldn't be allowed on YouTube. You wouldn't be allowed to hear anything on YouTube. You wouldn't be allowed to put the stupid bullshit you put on YouTube. I wouldn't be able to put the stupid bullshit I put on YouTube if I was oppressed. Oh, well, I didn't get this job because I'm black. There could be 100 million reasons why you didn't get the job. There were jobs I went for I didn't get. Why? Is it because I'm white? That's really stupid. And I love the fact affirmative action is gone now. I do love it. Because if you as a black person or a white person are going to walk into a job interview thinking who the fuck you are and you should just have the job, fuck you, bye-bye. There's a difference between confidence and arrogance. And most people today have arrogance. You can't tell me what to do. I'll do whatever the fuck I want to do. Yeah? Fuck you. Let's continue.
And that's because of indoctrination. That's because people are so coddled in freedom and safety and security that they forget where they came from. Talk about racism in America. A lot of these other places are prejudiced and racist to an extent in which you would not imagine. But yet you complain about the United States of America.
There's someone who's being called an influencer. I forget her name. She's in Dubai. She's a black woman. Something about a rental car. And she went to get her credit cards and her IDs, which she wasn't even supposed to be driving a truck in Dubai. It's not allowed for women to do that. But of course, bitches from America think they can go to other countries and do what the fuck they do here. Look at Brittany Griner. She shouldn't have been let out. When you go to another country, even another state, have the brains to look up their basic laws, because what's allowed in your state, in your town, in your country may not be allowed there, and you have to follow their rules when you're there. It's like going into a library. Who the fuck are you to go mouthing off, screaming, hooting and hollering in a library? The rules are no. Quiet, don't disturb everyone. But no, people from America go into other countries and think, fuck it, I'm on vacation. I'll do what I want. Those people have rules. You have to follow them. So anyway, there was some kind of problem with this bitch getting her ID back and everything else. And she started yelling at the guy. Well, in Dubai, a woman is not allowed to yell at a guy. A woman is not allowed to dress provocatively. Or, like most women today, you're not allowed to dress like a fucking hooker pig. Which most do today. Oh, if you tell me not to, it's body shaming. Fuck you, body shaming. Have some dignity. Have some class. So she's arrested, and she may be convicted there and have to serve a prison sentence there. Her mother feels like that's totally unfair. Well, that's their rules. We as Americans don't have the right to go in and tell them how to run their country, although a lot of times we do. But these were basic laws there. A woman is not allowed to drive a truck. A woman must dress, extremely conservatively. Hair has to be covered, all this other shit. This bitch went there and acted like, now, I'm a big YouTuber. I could do what I want. Look what happened. Because you're not allowed to go to another country and do whatever the fuck you want or the shit you get away with here. I don't care she's black. I wouldn't care if she was white. And fuck anyone who's like bullshit. Fuck you. You go to another country, you're supposed to follow their rules, not act like, oh no, you're not going to tell me what to do. I'm not going to be oppressed. Bitch, you ain't fucking oppressed. I mean, look at Queen Latifah. I love Queen Latifah. I do. She was on a show, something about her ancestral history. And she found out, yes, that her great-grandmother, great-great, whatever it was, number of great-grandmother, was a slave. She was a slave for 24 hours. It was just paperwork. Her grandmother, thank God, didn't go through some of the atrocities some of the slaves went through. It wasn't every single fucking slave. And I know a lot of people are not going to like me saying this. Fuck you, you don't like me saying this. Tommy Sotomayor said, it really makes no sense if you're beating your slaves to a bloody pulp and they can't work. That's a commodity. That's a way to make money. So if you're beating them to where they can't work, how does that help you? Now, I'm not saying none of them got beat up. I'm not saying none of the slave owners were mean and vicious towards them. I think there were. Was it Roots? No, because even that fuck Alex Haley came out and said he wanted to give his people, meaning black people, a lie to go with. But nobody gives a fuck. They just see what everybody else has and they feel like they deserve it too. You don't deserve shit unless you work for it. You're supposed to be judged on your character, how you act. And the way I'm seeing a lot of people act today, not just black people, white people, all this other shit. Nobody deserves anything nowadays. They can't even give somebody common courtesy or common respect. No, not unless you bow down and kiss my feet and Fuck you.
You are a complete coward. If you
Yes, most people here are cowards, putting down fucking America. Why don't you go live in Africa And the only reason I'm saying Africa is because I know there are slaves there. I don't know where else they said there are slaves. But even Candace Owen looked it up, and she said the lowest number she found was 700,000. That's how many slaves there are still in the world. Nobody today, especially black people, are worried about what their ancestors went through. They're worried about what they can get the fuck out of it. Well, that's like blood money. I even heard Michi X one time. The black people are owed trillions of dollars, but for what? Oh, well, the medical industry. White women couldn't stand holding the black women down. It was too awful for them. So the black women had to do it. Oh, but you can still blame white women for shit. The white women felt what was going on was horrible. They couldn't do it. But back then, what could they really do to stop it? But black women did it. Black slave women held other black slave women down so medical shit could be done to them. Nobody's complaining about that. No, just blame the white men who owned them. Fuck you. Go back in time and get the people who did that shit. Don't get people today. That's like me saying when I was in high school, this black guy, Calvin, kicked me in the back of my head when I was going downstairs. I should blame every black guy today for that? Calvin did it. There was this black bitch named Barbara, and I don't care what the fuck I'm saying. Fuck you. And her friend in homeroom class in high school saying I smacked their black teacher. And the day they claimed I did it, I wasn't even in school that day. I had a doctor's appointment. I had to bring proof to the school I had a doctor's appointment. And I know, especially that motherfucker Sis is going to take the words black bitch and make something out of it. I don't care. I'm tired. If I'm a white bitch, black women are black bitches. I don't care. There's so much inequality going on. There's a video of a black woman on campus, some college campus, going in a room saying the black people there didn't feel safe and all the white people would have to leave. What the fuck would happen if a white person did that today? What the fuck if I said, no, I don't want any black people in my house? This is my home. I have the right to keep out black, white, whatever I want. Apparently I don't. Everybody else's rights come before mine, especially because I'm white. People really need to learn their history and see how good they have it now. Maybe by today's standards, they don't have it good. But 100 years ago? All our ancestors, black, white, Indian, Asian, they are rolling over in their fucking graves at all the shit we have now, and we're still motherfucking complaining. All the things they weren't allowed to say. We say that and more today. It's all just too much. It's crazy.
If you decide that it's not worth celebrating 1776 and our independence, you are a coward.
Your time with the NBA
Yes.
in terms of players, coaches, etc. Have you actually experienced any real racism in the NBA?
No.
Never.
Real? No. I can. The reason I say no is when you're talking about racism, right? You're talking about, I hate the fact that you exist, right?
Yeah.
The color, I don't care you. Now you're telling me I go to Boston.
Exactly. That is what racism is. The people I've had problems with on YouTube, yeah, majority are black women. I don't want them dead. I do want them gone from my life, and they are. That's not racism. That's toxic pieces of shit out of your life for your sanity, for your peace. The color doesn't matter. The last woman I had problems with went into the system when she was really young, a toddler. I don't think if she was white, she would have experienced things any differently. Because the system is majorly fucked up. Right now, how many kids are being molested and worse? That kind of stuff doesn't know a color. And still to this day, yeah, I'm still mad at her, but I really do wish I could go back in time and stop all that shit from happening to her. Stop it from happening to anyone. I can't. I had nothing to do with it happening. I can't have nothing to do with it stopping. But true racism, majority of people haven't even felt it yet. People, not just black, not just white. Go back in time 100 years. Really feel it. And then come back. And maybe you'll appreciate what you have now. I don't have a lot of stuff. I live in a dump. My landlord's a slumlord. Me and my husband tried to do things, plaster here, paint there. My building is over 100 years old. But because I'm paying the lowest rent because I've lived here so long, the landlord even did damage to my home. But I understand that I'm not living on the street. I'm not living in a shelter. I'm blessed for that. Nobody counts their blessings anymore. No one. That's another problem. People need to start counting their blessings and realize they have more now than their ancestors did. But they feel like, no, it's still not enough. Then fuck you. Go out and work for it. Panhandle. if that's still allowed. Go garbage picking. Fix things up and sell them. Don't just rely on everyone else saying you're owed something. Nobody's owed shit.
Austin, and then there's 22,000 people, right? You guys are supposed to be racist, right? Your whole team's fucking black, right?
Yeah.
Now, real racism means you're not even in this building. You're not. It's basically this team. Get it all white.
Well, okay.
I'll come back.
Okay,
right.
well,
That's racism to me.
I got you. But saying, okay, I don't believe that you should exist, and I hate your existence, and I think you should die. Yes, that's Nazi Hitler racism.
Mm-hmm.
But saying, I don't consider you an equal. Yes, I admire certain things about you, but I wouldn't let you date my daughter.
I wouldn't want anyone dating my daughter. Black, white, no. And that's because we view daughters differently. My son has gone out with every color, religion, whatever, under the rainbow. I don't give a fuck. If it was my daughter, I'd care. But no, people will twist that around and say, no, it's because I'm racist. Fuck you. If I was racist, I would never talk to a black person. I would never want to watch a black person. I would never want to hear their music. I would never nothing. But where racism is concerned, people will twist everything. Like I said before, oh, it's cloudy here. No, it's not. You're trying to make it seem bad for us. No. I love listening to Gilbert Arenas, Tommy Sotomayor, Officer Tatum. People condemn Officer Tatum for having a white wife. But there's a woman on here who has a white husband who's a lawyer, but that's okay? How is there that double standard? My husband was not white. Yeah, as I've said before, he wasn't always the nicest of people, of guys, no. But I loved him. I love him till this day. I never thought I would be with someone like him. I thought I would be with what I was attracted to. John Bon Jovi. Yeah, white, bushy long hair and what. That's not what happened. If I was racist, I could not have been with him. Period. I couldn't. If I was a member of the KKK, first off, I couldn't be because my son is mixed. But yeah, there are people who are saying, yeah, we know for a fact she's a member of the KKK. Fuck you, assholes. Black Lives Matter is the black equivalent to the KKK. I'm not talking about the movement where black people matter and what. No. The people who were scamming people out of the money. People who have $1 million houses now but can't account for the $90 million in donations, who in the beginning, their website said their donations go to the Democratic Party? Now, that means Democrats started Black Lives Matter. Guess what else they started? The KKK. And I am definitely no Democrat. Now, if you are, that doesn't mean you go with all this shit either. I'm talking about the government and history. Nobody cares about history except to say, oh, what my people went through, I deserve money. You don't deserve shit. Go through what they went through. You've gone through nothing like they've went through. But you deserve everything they should have had just because? Fuck you.
I wouldn't invite you to my home. I don't think you're as intelligent as I am, or some other. That's all racist.
Yeah, but I have on your jersey, I have on your shoes, I buy your product. Sounds stupid.
Sounds stupid.
Again, you know what I mean? It just fucking sounds stupid. I'm up there cheering and you can't date my daughter, but can you take a picture with her? It's stupid. Right? It's just like, come on. I don't know what fucking book you're reading from, but it's not the book that I've learned, right? And that's why I say, you give me Duke. Duke probably wouldn't even show up to a game that has all black people. I'm pretty sure he doesn't even go to sports games, right? That's real racism. That's someone who says, hey, I don't consider none of this.
Okay, he's talking about going to sports games. Let's take basketball. I would not go to a basketball game. Not because of black people, not because it's a sport and that's a guy's thing. I'm always afraid, even when seeing it on TV or in little YouTube clips or whatever, that ball is going to go into the audience and hit somebody and hurt someone. I feel the same way about baseball. Football, I've never heard of that happening. But if there was a way for that not to happen, why not go? It's a nice outing. Whatever. But they would, it's like going to the beach now. I don't ever want to go to the beach again because of all the shit I've seen on YouTube. Not people, but I've seen sharks. How many shark videos have come out this year where sharks are just swimming with people and the people... It's just nuts. No. But that has nothing to do with racism. Racism or some kind of bigotry or whatever, it will always exist. We even see it in the animal world. The animal world doesn't know anything about what we're doing, but we've seen it. And we have come from a long way from the animals. It's just someone who use that as a crutch. The crutches need to be burned and snapped into a million pieces and in whatever, turned to ash. There's no need for the crutch.
It's valuable. So, you know, when I really judge it, I'm looking at the behavior, right? Like, you know, same thing with like someone like Trump, right? Oh, he's racist. But every rally he does, it's all black music. It's not. That's Rihanna. I can hear Rihanna. That's Rihanna. Right? That sounds like Rihanna, right? And then it switched to that's John Legend. That's what right there. Beyonce's next. Like this is not like he's playing Taylor Swift and Lady Gaga all day. Like, come on. Like, that's the shit I pay attention to.
Okay.
Like, I hear words, but then I look at action, and action speaks very loud to me.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, we're in a very hypersensitive time, 2023, with social media and everything else like that. And anything that's remotely racist gets amplified.
Yes,
a lot.
Remote,
and that's just
the remote. It's the remote part of it, then versus the real.
Yeah, and anyone that says things that could be interpreted as racist will go down as a fact of being racist. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the reality of today, which is why you have to be extra careful. You know what I mean? You just have to be. You have to watch what you say, and the
fact that you have to watch what you say means you can say, "Oh, that's racist." You can't naturally just talk about racism because you're racist. Like, they're gonna everything.
I got you.
They're gonna trick you.
Just take a history lesson. Go and look at other nations. Go and look at this place before it was settled. Go and do your research. And think of all the people that have died hoping and praying that there could be a free country like there is today. Do a little research. Learn a little history. There is no perfect nation. And we have been striving from the very beginning to make a more perfect union. And if you don't understand that, you're a complete fool.
Yes.
I'm just going to call you a fool. I ain't holding nothing back. You have no excuse not to understand your history. You have no excuse not to acknowledge the sacrifice that was made so you can sit on there and complain on your YouTube channels and your social media, complain on national television, the sacrifices that were made so you can do that. You're a fool if you haven't done your research and haven't considered how great it is to be an American. And I get sick of the ungrateful. I just leaving Israel just makes me think of all those people who died trying to settle and establish something great in Israel. All the Jewish people that have died, all of the kingdoms that were overtaken and all this other stuff, the battles and the wars and the murder that occurred. And now you see that Israel is at the point that it's at. And I think of all the bloodshed and all the lives that were sacrificed, the people who died, and they died for a reason and a mission. And there's still conflict in that region. And then I go and look at America, because the conflict that I see in Israel was thousands of years of conflict, thousands of years of dynasties reigning, the line of David, and you go down the list, and I see we walked on the ruins of thousands of years ago where people lived, and many of the established kingdoms had to be excavated. And I look at our brand new country in comparison to the history in Israel. A couple hundred years ago, we were established. And in that, we have accomplished so much at such a small period of time. And we have the ability to experience some of the greatest freedoms and the greatest in the greatest country to ever exist.
Yes.
But with people being so ungrateful, we will end up being like the civilizations from 2,000 years ago.
Yes.
Where you have people going and touring and walking on the remains of what was. America has the ability to be great and be even greater as the years go along. But the foolish amongst us, the ungrateful amongst us, will have this country being in ruins, where generations will say, look at what they could have been.
Exactly.
Look at what they should have been. And it's sad to think that that's where we could be headed. Beautiful buildings. You look at New York City and you say, how could we come up with such a beautiful, robust city of such diversity? And you watch the leadership tear down a city of such beauty and greatness.
Brainwash people.
You look at California. You look at some of the most prominent places in our nation, and you watch them completely be dissolved.
Okay, I'm going to end this here. I'm going to link this video in the description.